I love Instagram. I mean, I've had it since I was 12 years old. I still remember when I reached 100 followers. We were driving home from family dinner when I got the notification. I started freaking out since something like that has never happened to me before. My older brother Gerald telling me to shut up, of course. Since then, I've aged 2 years and my account has gained hundreds of thousands of followers, 818 to be specific. Now, if you're wondering how a 14-year-old girl managed to get that many in only 2 years, I'm simply lucky that my dad works at Instagram and can pull some strings, as I tell my closest friends. I've once been told by some kid at school that I'm nothing more than a spoiled brat. That kid was apparently caught smoking weed outside of the school building, Principal Bickerson expelling him from the district somehow. However, I'm pretty sure my mom, who's in real estate, simply paid off Bickerson to kick the kid out, since I told her what happened, and shortly after that she met with the principal, and then she started complaining about there not being enough money in the house. At the time, I didn't really care. I had the perfect life. Rich parents and house, almost 1 million followers on my favorite social media site. I had nothing to worry about. Until Austin53109 showed up. One Friday afternoon, shortly after this stupid lockdown began, I got a message from a user named Austin53109. He had no photos, stories, or even a profile picture. His bio was strange, to say the least. Exposing corruption 24/7. Weird, I know. I was scrolling around on accounts that were followed to me when I got the message. The message read, Isabella Natalie Louise, you have been spoiled with money and popularity your entire life. Everything you have ever wanted has been handed to you on a silver platter. You currently have 2 options. Continue to drown in your parents' wealth and power, or change for the better. No longer running to mommy and daddy when something doesn't go your way. At first I was laughing until the realization that this Austin guy knew my full name hit me, and that my parents have to get involved when I want things. I immediately began thinking of all the possibilities. One of my friends, Adam, the kid who got kicked out of school, probably because of my mom. Gerald, my older brother. Gerald. It had to be that asshole, I thought. Gerald and I have never liked each other, as much as my parents tried to get us to. We simply don't get along. I got off my bed and stormed downstairs to where Gerald and his friends Henry, Victor, Reggie, and Patrick were in the living room, playing video games and throwing food in each other's mouths, making a mess in the process. Gerald and Victor were standing in front of the television while the other idiots were on the couch getting food everywhere. Hey, asshole, I yelled to Gerald. What the hell do you want? He asked annoyingly, not even bothering to look at me. Are you trying to mess with me or what? I demanded. What the hell are you talking about? Probably nothing important, Victor added on, despite the fact that he has nothing to do with this. The Instagram message you sent me, dumbass, I reminded him. He still didn't look to me. I don't even have that stupid social media crap. Will you piss off? He yelled just before getting killed in his dumb video game. Damn it! He screamed before turning around and throwing the controller onto the couch next to Reggie. Shit, my turn, Reggie said before grabbing the controller and running next to Victor. I rolled my eyes and went back upstairs, upset that I got out of my bed just for that. I didn't even know why I was so mad. Even if it wasn't Gerald, it was probably just someone messing with me. I calmed down and went back to scrolling around on Instagram. A few hours later, my brother and his moron friends were now outside making too much noise, and it was almost 11 at night. My parents were out of town, by the way, in case any of you were wondering. I finally got off Instagram and turned on Disney+. I went to catch up on High School Musical, the series. I know, a ridiculously long title. When I got another notification from my phone, I turned it on and saw it was from Austin53109 on Instagram. I smirked, ready to read more lame BS. I went to the app and began reading the new message. Your first step at redemption is deleting the account you are on right now. Getting rid of all the fake accounts your father, Peter Louise, has made for your benefit. Like hell. I was about to block the account, getting tired of this nonsense, but then I got another message saying, or else, with 3 dots at the end. I was waiting for him to say something else, but he didn't, so I took it as a sign he wanted me to ask him. I didn't want to give into this crap, but I was sort of bored at the time, so I replied, "Or else what?" He started typing for only a few seconds before a picture came up on screen. A picture of my front yard popped up. For the first few seconds, I still thought it was my brother who took the picture, but then I analyzed it and saw, through the front window, Gerald and his friends sitting on the couch. Right now, the boys were in the backyard, meaning the picture was taken a while ago. Another photo was quickly sent of Gerald and Victor standing up playing the video game and me standing next to them. That was taken when I went downstairs earlier. The next photo was taken from the backyard, looking up at my window. The man, or Austin's hand, was in the shot, holding a butcher's knife. I dropped my phone onto my bed and ran over to the window and looked out of it. No one besides the guys were out there. "Or else I break into your room and slit your golden throat," a voice emanated from outside my bedroom door. I backed up against my closed window and stared at the door. "Now!" the voice yelled. In a panic, I told Austin to F off and that I'm calling the police. However, right after, I cringed when I noticed my door wasn't locked. Suddenly, the door itself swung open, hitting the wall. Some guy walked in wearing a black hoodie with the hood up, black pants, and gloves. The butcher's knife from before still in his right hand. He was also wearing a black mask with a large white circle around the face, a smaller circle inside of it, and then a small dot inside of that circle. I screamed as the man charged at me. I quickly turned around and threw my window up, I guess ready to jump out of it or something. However, Austin grabbed my hair and pulled me back onto the floor. He walked to the window and started to close it, probably so Gerald and his friends wouldn't hear what's going on. Quickly, I got up and ran to my nightstand, picked up my lamp, and threw it towards Austin, hitting his head right when he turned around. Austin fell into my bed, making non-human noises while he held his face. I ran back to the window and reopened it, ready to jump. Without me even seeing, Austin got up and turned me around and started strangling me. "If you won't do what I say, I'll do it for you," he said before lifting his hand up, revealing my open phone, taking the steps to delete my Instagram account. Now, I know I say I love Instagram, but this psycho really thought I gave a crap about my stupid account right now. I was about to die. Trying to get him to let go of me, I grabbed his mask and ripped it off, sending it to the small bit of floor between us. That's when I saw its face. It had rough, dark red skin with two big black eyes and two tentacle-like things for lips. His mouth was completely bare, no tongue, no teeth. The hell was this thing? Austin, if I could even call it that, quickly covered its face and kneeled down for the mask, letting me kick it in the head, but also letting me trip out of my window. I managed to fall into a small portion of grass and not the hard concrete next to it, thank God. Gerald and his friends stopped laughing before I looked up and saw Gerald run towards me. "Why the hell did you just fall out of your window?" he asked while helping me up. Gerald, there's something in my bedroom," I blurted out. Gerald's face looked the most confused I've ever seen. I walked forward a little, holding my bruised and my later found out broken arm. Austin was standing in my room, looking out to me, exposing himself to Gerald and everyone else, not even bothering to put his mask on. I began pointing at my window like a crazy person. Look, see, that thing just tried to kill me," I yelled. What thing?" Reggie asked. I looked behind me and saw him staring at me like I was insane. "The thing in my window, you moron," I yelled, looking back to Austin still standing there staring at me. "Bella, there's no one there," Gerald finally said. What the hell is going on with these guys? I know they're idiots, but they're not blind. "Yeah, I'm not seeing anything," Victor also added. It's right there," I screamed. Gerald and his friend looked at each other concerned, but I could tell it was about me. Gerald walked closer. "Are you high or something?" I couldn't even say anything. Right above Gerald's shoulder was Austin the creature, its head and body exposed to the outside. How could none of them see it? Gerald then looked to my arm. "Good God, your arm looks like shit. I'm gonna take you to the hospital." "What? No, we need to call the police." When I looked back to my window, the creature was gone. Instead, Austin was standing right against the back of my house, only a few feet away from me. I screamed and turned around, running and yelling for the guys to do the same. When I turned back, Austin was now even closer, right next to Gerald, who, for once in his life, actually looked scared. Was he finally seeing it too? That was my last thought before hitting my head against the shed door, falling to the ground. I woke up in the hospital, Gerald and my parents both sitting in the room with me. Mom was crying while Dad held her back. Gerald was simply staring at the floor. Before saying anything, I looked to my right and saw the doctor, and just for a second, his face was that of Austin the creature. Later that night, I was on my phone staring at the Austin53109 profile. My left arm was broken and I had a mild concussion. Doctors said they found drugs in my system, even though I don't take drugs. That, I guess, eased my parents' nerves after Gerald told them what happened. Though I wasn't on any drugs, I know what I saw. I think it's safe to say I deleted my Instagram and all social media accounts except for YouTube. However, that wasn't the end of it. While trying to sleep that night, I received a text message from an unknown number. I assumed it was a scam number or something until I read the actual text.
We're not done here yet, Isabella.